It's where you go to bike, hike, and stroll miles of pathways over more than 7,000 acres of parkland. A place to go explore rivers and fish their bountiful waters. Natural places to go marvel at magnificent wildlife while you play outdoors and go wander charming communities. Find all this and more at Destination Downriver. Give it a go.
Today's podcast is presented by marketinsights.us, with the podcast on YouTube produced by the City of Taylor's Media Center.
Thank you to our team sponsor, Allegra, Marketing, Print, and Design. Let Allegra assist you with your print, mail, design, and signs. Located in Wyandotte, Michigan, or call 734-284-5330.
Hi, I'm Karl Ziomek, and this is Destination Downriver. At 14 stories, the former Security Bank and Trust Company building at Trenton Road and Cambridge Avenue is Downriver's tallest structure. As Southgate Mayor Joseph Kaspa has noted, it's not only the tallest structure in our area, but also the tallest building between Detroit and Toledo. Originally constructed in 1972 and opened a year later, the building became known as the PNC Bank Building. After years of ownership changes during the financial industry's merger mania of the late 1990s, it sat vacant for nearly a decade under absentee ownership. In 2023, a bold new chapter began. A family-owned firm here in Southeast Michigan launched work to convert the building into 216 market-rate apartments ranging from studios to two-story penthouses. This redevelopment, now called the Bank Tower Apartments, represents the largest private investment in Southgate's history and is helping reshape both the skyline and the trajectory of the Downriver region. Joining us today to explore the project are Southgate Mayor Joseph Kaspa, property owner and developer of Southgate Tower LLC, Alex Began, and Southgate City Administrator Dan Marsh. We'll be right back with our guests in one moment. Alex, welcome to the show today. You first saw this building in 2021 and quickly began working with the city. What sparked the whole thing? Was it the building? Was it the internals of the building? What was it that caught your eye?
Well, I was driving by the building. I was working on a volunteer effort for a local Catholic church, and I just happened to see this building, which, of course, growing up in Metro Detroit, I was very aware of this building, and I noticed that it looked abandoned, which made absolutely no sense to me in a city like Southgate. Why would such a beautiful property be empty here? Mm-hmm. So I drove around the building, looked closer at it, and then I did my own homework and found that it was for sale and was owned by an out-of-state entity. But basically the whole idea was, how could you fail in this city with a beautiful piece of real estate like that? I'm not the smartest guy on earth, but I figured I could make this thing work. And we had also done a similar project elsewhere in Metro Detroit on another old office building like this.
Mm-hmm. That's where I was headed. You and your family completed a similar development in Oakland County that you just opened the door for. How did that experience influence your vision here? Was that pretty much a deal maker in this case?
It was, and it's a good way to put it. My family had built an office building in Madison Heights around the year 1970 that was in the middle of some other properties we also own that are all apartments. And the apartments there did very well, but that office building has never done well since it was built. So we made the decision in, I think it was 2016, to convert that office building into apartments. And it was a resounding success. It went from a never full office building to a full apartment building. And because it was an office building, the ceilings were higher than they would be in a residential building. So the units there are large, high ceiling, just beautiful. So we took that experience and I thought if we could do it there, we could do it here. It's the same vintage building. It's just a bigger building. Mm-hmm. Didn't scare me.
Which is a real positive, that's for sure. Okay, Mayor Kaspa, you've shared a personal history with this building with us
Yes.
and many others. How does that connection shape your perspective on the rebirth of this property?
I think it was very important that the repurposing of this building was significant and had a significant impact on the residents here in Southgate, but all throughout Southeast Michigan. When it was originally built, I was a resident here too. I was growing up in Southgate in the 70s, and it was such a transformational project. This massive high skyscraper for downriver, and so it's made an impact on the community for all these decades. It did get into disrepair, and it was unfortunate, but we wanted to make sure there was a project that was worthy of bringing it back into that former grandeur. And this is just delightful to see it to transform into, again, one of those transformational projects that not only for Southgate but throughout the downriver area. And my personal connection also was when I was in college, from about 75 through 80, I was employed here. I was in the collection department here on the 5th floor. So obviously things have changed a lot with the remodeling, but I still have a passion for the building, as well as many Southgate residents and residents throughout the downriver area that work for Security Bank. I run into them all the time saying, they're so pleased that Alex has come in and saw the vision for this property to make it that grandeur building again.
I didn't realize you had worked here before. I don't think you shared that with me previously, but let me throw you a curveball here.
Sure.
When you were here previously, did you have a favorite spot or some type of nuance in this building that really caught your eye?
Well, it's always nice to go to the top floor. I was there a couple times for personnel issues, but no, I think the 5th floor was kind of the gathering spot. It was the cafeteria, and that was a place where you could sit and kind of look at the vistas that this building provides, and that was kind of really cool. And again, you almost see that from every room here. You see an entire vista of downriver, or down on the south side, or Detroit from the north side. It's just really exciting to see that this will be a location where people can live and enjoy that view.
Okay, all right. Gentlemen, this has been a highly collaborative initiative. Can you and Alex expand on the teamwork and the mindset that made this all come about? You want to start, Mayor?
Well, I think it started with the idea, and Alex coming to us with the idea that you wanted to transform this building into residential was really inspiring. We've had other proposals along the way that were not so inspiring, including just turning this into a storage facility. So when when Alex came to us with his vision for this building, it matched what we thought the potential could be for this building. So that was the exciting part. So then it was a matter of how do we make it happen, and how can the city assist, and what other resources can we bring to the table to make this happen?
Alex, you want to add anything to that?
Well, I would just say that I'm the stereotypical small developer. I'm not Dan Gilbert. I'm not a big corporation where it's just a second generation family business. So that means when you look at a big project like this really is a big undertaking. And to make it viable economically, we need to look at every possible cooperation, every possible incentive to make it not only affordable, but hopefully make it a little notch better than other projects would be, because you want to be the best property in town. And I think by working together, we've been focused on common sense solutions to making this project as successful as it possibly could be.
When the mayor talks about the project, the idea, and how much more attractive you were with your idea than others, was this the idea? The conclusion here, was this the idea from the get-go? Or did it morph from one idea to another to another?
It always was a residential conversion. I think, as everybody can realize, it's hard to rent office space out these days, but everybody will always need a place to live, so a residential project is less risky in that sense. But what wasn't evident at the outset and took shape as we developed the plan is the surrounding property. The fact that we could, rather than just have grass surrounding the building, we could actually have a park that would appeal not only to the residents of the building, but to the residents of Southgate in general. So by combining incentives and creative thinking and working with our architect, we've kind of grown the plan to make this a better property than we originally thought was possible.
The building's legacy, and the mayor had mentioned this just previous here, the building's legacy inspired innovative features, the bank vault repurposed as a social hub, drive-through teller lanes converted to EV charging stations, creating a two-story penthouses with sweeping river views in the top floor areas that once housed the central air units. Can you share more about these type of features and other innovations that are part of all of this that you're creating?
Well, it became very evident when the mayor and I and other city officials were talking about this property that there is a great affection for this tower among the citizens of Southgate. And that's a good thing. It's great to have investment in a property. It's not just some generic building that people forget about. It's something people have very fond memories about. So that was actually helpful in coming up with ideas on how to celebrate the memory and the history of the building. You mentioned the bank vault. That's on the lower level of the building. That's being turned into a social room. We've refurbished the old safety deposit vault boxes, so it still looks like a bank vault, but it now has its roof open to the main floor, so it's a very contemporary looking space actually now. We will have a sort of a museum on the ground floor. We'll have historical pictures and artifacts from the building's previous role as a bank headquarters. You mentioned the top floor. That was our architect's idea. The architect suggested, well, we don't need central HVAC in an apartment building. Everybody has their own HVAC. So we had this beautiful top floor that was 2 stories tall. What are you going to do with that? Well, why not put 2-story penthouse apartments up there? It fit really well, and it's actually spectacular up there now. The views are great from any floor of the building, but up there it's really phenomenal.
From a developer's viewpoint, okay, is this a little bit different time in the Detroit metro area where we're seeing some of these really old buildings rehabbed, okay, versus just demolished and replaced with other things, like the train depot, for instance. I mean, that seems to have there's a special place in everybody's heart for that train depot. And now, from what you're saying, this place has a special place in the hearts of Southgate residents and, quite frankly, surrounding downriver residents. Do you feel that?
Well, certainly, not every building is suited to a residential conversion. I think the Rensen, for example, provides an example of how the floor layouts are not ideal for conversion to residential. It's going to be tougher for them to do it here. This building was beautiful. The way we could slice it up and create individual apartments was lovely. So number one is the architectural suitability of the property. Number 2 is the location. Are your view, in this case, the views are unobstructed by other buildings, so that is a great asset. You don't have too much competition in the area in the way of other new properties. And that's not only a question for a developer to face, but we have to get financing for these projects, and lenders are very picky, very picky. They have to be intimately involved with the project throughout. And fortunately, the lenders we're working with are thrilled about this property, and for all the reasons we're discussing right now.
Mayor, this strikes me as, it's not just a home run. This is like a grand slam. This is like the home run of home runs.
No, I would agree. And like I said, this building has been transformational for the community in the past, and it will once again, as it takes a new role as residential. You mentioned about the downriver area and Southgate residents having a passion. I don't think you can find another building as iconic as this bank building in the downriver area. I mean, everybody knows about this building. They've known about the past. They either worked here or banked here or some of the things, and now they have the opportunity to live here. One of the other points that I did want to elaborate on when you talked about collaboration, when we had fully understood what Alex wanted to do here, we also reached out to other partners that we have, and Wayne County was very instrumental in coming to our assistance. As Alex said, it's not only the building, it's the grounds around the building, and to be able to add to that whole development. They did provide a $5 million grant to provide for a public park and a bridge over Trenton Road to connect the existing park there, the train park, Kiwanis Park, to this park. So it's really an asset not only for the residents here, but for the whole community.
Dan, welcome to the show. How are you today?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
Very good, very good. This project includes creative enhancements, green spaces from former parking lots and other on-site amenities, along with a pedestrian bridge and new amenities at Kiwanis Park. How will these improve the quality of life for residents in the city?
Well, the first thing I would say is that, again, as Alex talked about, this is a development that is obviously very exciting for the city, not just from a development standpoint, but also just as a resource for the other neighbors across the street or in the subdivisions nearby. The space on the outside of the tower is being redeveloped into a public park. It's going to have open green spaces, a community pavilion, tennis and pickleball courts, workout stations, a putting green. So it's a lot of interesting things that residents can come here and enjoy. And one of the things that we've been intentional in the city about is not making every single park a copy of the park on the other, down the street. We really wanted to have some unique features. And so this park, one of the most unique features is going to be this large putting green and chipping area, again, with tennis and pickleball courts as well. And this will be the first park that we have that includes a walking path with fitness stations as well.
So I assume if I drive down here when everything's done, you're going to be chipping at about 7 a.m. before you go to work? Or
I hope so. Yeah, that's the plan. Yeah.
Pickleball courts. Do you guys have pickleball courts elsewhere in the city?
We do. It's a growing sport.
It is.
It's definitely something. There's definitely a community need for it. So in our municipal complex, we just did an upgrade there. We got new tennis and pickleball courts. There's also some paddle courts, which is another paddle sport that, as the name would suggest. But this will be just another location where people can come. Obviously, it's going to be a great resource for the residents here at the tower, but for the community as well. This will be a great opportunity for
Sounds fantastic. You were, I'm sure, part of the regional cooperation that made this come together. All of that played a role with the support of the DCC, with the Brownfield Tax Increment Financing Authority. How critical were all these things coming together? They usually are extremely critical when it comes to projects like this.
Yeah, well, this is a big undertaking. This is the largest single private investment in the city's history. So it's a big undertaking, and we really wanted to make sure that this was a well-supported project. So you're right, the DCC helped with providing a loan for some of the abatement and demolition. The city of Southgate, we have a local brownfield redevelopment authority, and they approved a brownfield project for this program as well. And then again, Wayne County, seeing that this is a tremendous investment, private investment, in the city of Southgate. They said if there's an opportunity for them to help, and there was with the grant for the park, and so they gave $5 million for it. So it's really kind of like a layered approach. And obviously the biggest part of that is the developer himself and his family in making that initial investment. So where we could help, that's what we did.
So with all the progress that's gone on, do you sleep well at night, or are you still a little nervous?
No, I sleep very well. I'm looking forward to seeing it as a finished project, though. It's one of those things, it's been a labor of love in some ways, kind of putting all those resources together and seeing the park come together and all the development that goes along there and working with the county and keeping them abreast of what's going on. So there's a lot of behind the scenes moving parts, but it's been wonderful to see. Sometimes when you're really, really close to it, it seems like it's taking so long, but then if you kind of just remember back just like 6 months ago or a little bit further, and when the windows come in, now it's lit up at night and you can see the trees in the park, and so we're really close to that finish line. So sleep well at night, but it'll be a lot sweeter when this is all completed.
Okay, Alex, we're going to finish with you. We started with you, we'll finish with you. You've spoken about honoring the building's memory and the difference between place and space. Why is cultural and community reverence so important in projects like this?
Well, I think, first of all, you don't want to be perceived as just another apartment complex, another boring equivalent to every other apartment complex. Here we have a unique opportunity to play into and take advantage of the great history this building has and the great memories it fosters in the residents of Southgate. So let's take that. That's a good thing. Let's make it part of the story of the building going forward too. And also there's parts of this building that I think the public can enjoy. We talked about the bank vault area. Why not make that available to anybody, not just tenants? If they want to rent out the vault for a social event, great. Let's put this building to use and serve the citizens in every way we can logically think of.
As we're headed toward the finish line on this project, if people are interested, people out there watching the show or people have read about it and things like that, what's the best way if they want to get involved, if they want to rent space there, if they want to have their questions answered? What's the best way to be involved?
Well, there's two answers to that. Right now, we have a website. It's thebanktowerapts.com. Thebanktowerapts.com.
Okay.
You can go there. We have renderings of what the apartments will look like, so you can see what we're going to be offering here. There's a way to contact our property managers and register your interest. We will open a leasing office 60 days before the property opens. As you can imagine, on a project of this scale, there's always little hang-ups and little challenges to wrap it up. So we're thinking that it will open at the end of February, but you never know. But that would suggest that the leasing office would open around the beginning of January. So you'll see signs. There are already signs around the building pointing into a leasing office. There'll be a trailer here before too long.
For you and your company, once you're done with this project, is there something else that's on the horizon that you want to share with us?
Well, we're doing a similar refurbish to an apartment building that we own in Madison Heights, not the one I referred to earlier. This is another high-rise building that we built in the 70s, and it was showing its age. So we've emptied it out of tenants, and we're going to try to do a similar kind of upgrade to that building, very, very much like this one. These apartments here are so lovely. Why not try to apply this thinking to another building in the area?
Exactly. Well, thanks for being on today. That's our story for today. What was once considered an albatross has been revived into a symbol of optimism. By bringing new life to the Bank Tower apartments, Southgate is elevating downriver living, building a vibrant future rooted in both legacy and innovation. It's unfolding on an epic scale, one that's both highly visible and deeply inspiring. This is the tale of recycling and upcycling, a renaissance, if you will. The Bank Tower Apartments represent Southgate's own beacon of development. We hope you enjoyed this episode. For Destination Downriver, I'm Karl Ziomek. We'll see you again next month with another unique story about the Downriver Detroit region.
Thank you to our team sponsor, Allegra, Marketing, Print, and Design.
With a special thanks to our production partners here at the new Taylor Media Center. Thanks for listening and watching. Please visit our website, destinationdownriver.com, or our Facebook page, and be sure to join us for next month's podcast.